Hello, it's me, Emma, again, here with the second episode of Skein Sprite Knits, a place where I talk about what I'm knitting, crafting, nerding. And today I have a lot of updates since my last episode. My last episode was very whip heavy. It was all about the whips, all about things that I needed to finish because I had like 7 or 8 works in progress that were just so slow going, and I was getting bored of them. And it was just a really rough time. So I was working on everything slowly, and then I got the plague. I fell ill, and I had to stay home for like a week. I'm okay. It wasn't a bad case. I got a booster shot, so I've had 3 of the vaccines. So I think that's probably what helped it be not a terrible case. But because I was home from work for a whole week, I got a lot of knitting done and a lot of watching things done. Not a lot of reading. But yeah, a lot of knitting. So much knitting that I like damaged my finger. There's like a hole in it from when I pushed the left-hand needle down to like scooch up the stitches. And so earlier today I was looking into getting something to like stick on there to like cover that part up so that it doesn't hurt me. And I found some things, but we'll talk about them after I get them. So let's get into the finished objects, because I have a lot of them. And I have a lot of whips that have had progress made, and I'm very excited. So, starting out with the elephant in the room, my finished wool and honey sweater. Oops. So I'm going to stand up a little bit. And here it is. I love it. I love it so much. I'm obsessed. I was really worried that I was not going to have enough yarn to finish the sleeves. I had purchased enough yarn to do the sweater. And then as I was knitting the yoke and the body, I was like, oh man, I'm running low on yarn. So I emergency ordered another skein of this colorway. However, I ordered it like months after I had purchased the original sweaters quantity, and so I was alternating skeins anyway, so it didn't matter that much, I don't think, but like it really wasn't the same dye lot. But I also do like to lengthen a lot of my sweaters. I like longer sweaters that like at least reach like the top halfway down my butt. Like I like longer things. I have a long torso, and it's just, I don't really wear crop tops or anything. Or I like when I lift my arms up, I like, everything covered up. So I knew that I needed to get a little extra for the length of the sweater, and then I also kind of like full length sleeves. So I did order an extra skein, but then I was still scared. When I had finished the ribbing on the body, I had a full skein and then 2 partial skeins left over from the skeins I was alternating on the body. And so I split the full skein up into 2 so I could alternate one of the leftover skeins with one half of the full skein and the other with the other sleeve. And I was really nervous. The pattern calls for you to knit from where you split for the sleeve, so from the yoke to like here, 5-ish inches, but I was like, I kept trying it on, and I was like, no, I want my sleeves to be longer than that. I'm not loving so I knit like about another inch, so I did like 6 inches here, and by that time I was like, oh gosh, am I going to have enough? So I was like, emergency texting my knitting friends. I was like, oh God, do you think I'm gonna have enough? What should I do? Should I order another skein? Should I like fade a different color into it? Like, what should I do? Because 3/4 length sleeves in idea are great, they're fine, whatever, but in practice they kind of annoy me. I don't like having anything like right here. I don't know, I just don't like the feeling of them as much as like a cozy full length sleeve. So I was worried, but I kept like knitting and weighing my yarn and then knitting more and weighing my yarn, and I had plenty of yarn. I still have about 57 grams of yarn left over, so I could do a whole nother sleeve if I wanted to. But yeah, so I was fine with that. I shouldn't have worried that much. But and I had knitted before I blocked. I had knitted to just like about bracelet length, so the sleeves were able to grow a little bit. And this is good because this is like my ideal, perfect cozy sweater length, because you can just pull it up a little bit and be all warm and nice. And oh, I just love it. I love how it's sort of, the way it's pooling is like a little bit of like a micro stripey, but that makes sense because I alternated skeins. So, but yeah, I like how I thought this was a little scary. I was like, oh gosh, this ribbing is so long. I feel like I've never, but I love this. I love the way it like forms. I can pull these sleeves up for a little bit and then pull them down and they go right back to where they're supposed to be. This yarn is amazing. I love the drape of it. I love the weight of it. It's just like, oh, this is like so worth the 1.5 years of knitting it took to get here. I don't think I'd ever knit this again because the body, I wanted to die with this body. It was like forever, but this yarn, chef's kiss. This, oh yeah, I love it. Like, absolutely a product knit. The process made me want to die, but the product is amazing. I'm so happy about it. So that is my first FO, the Wool and Honey Sweater by Andrea Mowry. I did it in Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in the Newport Tonal Hand Paint colorway. It is 80% superwash fine Highland wool and 20% polyamide, 357 yards, 100 grams, fingering weight. I love this yarn. You will see that I love this yarn because I have now 3 other sweaters quantities of this yarn, and this is my second sweater that I have already knit in this yarn. I love Hawthorne. So that is my first FO. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so excited, and I'm really pleased that I finished knitting this in like 83-degree weather, but then the next day, yesterday when I blocked the sweater, it was 57 degrees, and today it is in the 60s, so it is like absolute, like, probably the max temp you'd want for a sweater wearing, but it's like, I'm not uncomfortable right now, so I'm like so excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna finish this, and it's in the 80s, and now I'm just gonna have to put it away and never wear it until fall. But ta-da! The universe has gifted me with nice, comfortable sweater wearing weather. So I'm very excited to get to wear it today. I'm gonna go play some Game of Thrones RPG later in the day, so I'm gonna wear it there and be sociable, and it's gonna be great. So my next finish object is another thing that you saw in the first episode. It is my Mary pullover. It is done. That's the back. It is done. It is finished. I'm not going to put it on because it's super heavy. I think I had the body finished last episode, but I did not have the sleeves. So the sleeves are done. Great. It's fantastic. Will be really nice and cozy in the winter. I have another, this is knit in Lion Brand Thick and Quick, which is, I think, 80% acrylic, 20% wool, unfortunately, but it's a cheaper, thing to make it out of. And I knew I had to have a sweater out of these colors because I liked them. So this top color is the colorway Astroland, and it was a striping one. And then the bottom color is Dusk. And the reason I picked this color out to go with this is because this one has the tiniest specks of the same color in here. And blue is my favorite color, so I figured that is the color that I would pull out because it was one that it was kind of hard to see, but if you get up close you can see it in there. So, yep, I'm pretty pleased with this. I like the different textures. I did not alternate these skeins because I just didn't feel like it. This is not going to be like a fancy running sweater. This is just going to be like wearing around at home. So one thing I am kind of annoyed about though is this section here. It's awful. This is what it's supposed to look like. Just two straight lines of eyelets parallel. I don't know what happened here. By the time I noticed what was going on, I was like down here and I didn't want to rip it back, so I didn't rip it back. And that is that. But yeah, so this is a really nice sweater. Super bulky, really good. Great. I'm excited. So that one is that. And my next finish object is another one that you saw in the last episode, if I can find where the top is. There we go. It is the matchstick shawl that I knit for my boyfriend. It's done. This was a really easy pattern. It was nice. This is knit in Knit Picks Chroma Worsted in the Wednesday colorway. And I think it turned out really well. I was looking for different things. I don't want to get like a solid color because I felt like that would be boring. So I got this color because he's a dude and I didn't know if you'd want like crazy colors. So I got him like a neutral, but it's like still a variety of colors. But yeah, I really like this. There's the stitch. It was really easy. I brought this a lot of times to play D&D when we went over to a friend's house for movie nights and just like stuff like that. So that was a quick, easy knit. This yarn's pretty soft. It's very squishy. And yeah, so that was a good one. So those are my finished objects. So now I shall talk about some whips. I'm not going to show all of my whips like I did last time. I'm just going to show some of the ones that I worked on while I was finishing up these finished objects. I was like, oh gosh, I need to work on all the things. And then I worked on all the things because I had a lot of free time being home from work. But yeah, so I worked on some other things besides this. So here they are. This is just one because I haven't found the other ball of this yarn yet. Oh, doesn't look like much, but it is a mermaid scale fingerless mitt for my coworker and work wife. She is planning on moving to Florida at some time in the near future, so she requested something out of this yarn, but didn't want it to be something that was so hot that she was going to die in the Florida heat, but a fingerless mitt that she could wear when it just gets a little chilly. So she wanted something mermaidy because she picked out this yarn. She was like, ooh, it's like mermaids, I love it. So I was showing her some different stitches, and we went with the I don't know what you call this stitch pattern, but it's basically taken from the Cookie A Pomadomus sock pattern, and it was literally so easy. When we were first talking about this endeavor, I was like, okay, so do you want a thumb? Do you want, like, how long do you want the mitts? Like, blah, blah, blah. She said she wanted them kind of long in the arm, and then no thumb. So I was like, okay, well, should I just, like, cast off in that section and then like just pick up stitches after I'm done with the rest of the hand, and just do like a couple rows of garter or something to clean the edge up. But I think I just like it open like this. And this thumb hole is just a whole repeat of the chart for this stitch pattern. So it was very easy. I sent her a picture of them and she's like, oh my god, they're perfect. So I'm not even gonna bother doing anything with this thumb. And I kind of like it. It kind of looks cool. I'm sort of tempted to make a pair of these for myself because the way this squeezes my arm is very pleasant. I'm knitting these on a size 1, US 1, and it's Patent Croy Socks Effects. I don't remember what color though because I did not leave the ball band in this bag. So that's where that's living until I find the other ball and start the next one. And my other whip that I had been working on, I mostly worked on this yesterday. I went with my boyfriend and some of our friends. I did not do any LARPing, but I watched them do some LARPing. I don't have an outfit yet, so I don't feel right doing it at the moment because if I can't look the part, I don't want to do it. So instead, I just brought some knitting with me. And this is the Glacier Ice hat. Last time I made in the first episode, I had like about this much done. And now yesterday I worked on all of the brim and part of the body. So I think it's looking good so far. I hope it's not too big. This is worsted weight yarn. It is on, the brim was size 6 and the body is size 7. So when I knit a little further, I'm going to try it on and make sure it's not too large. I'm knitting this in 2 different yarns. What I wanted to do was try to emulate, so this came from the Interweave Knits magazine. The Interweave Knits Holiday from 2021, holiday season, yes. And I was looking through the magazines as you do, and I found this hat, and I was like, okay, I'm buying this magazine, I gotta knit this hat. And I literally saw the hat, and then like on my break at work, looked up yarn to make the hat. So that's what it's gonna look like when it's finished. And I really like those colors too, so I tried to go with that sort of colorway as close as I could without buying the Malabrigo yarn that it called for. This is the Glacier Ice Hat by Monet Drager. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, any of that, but hopefully it's close. So that's what I have so far. I've got this little brick stitch sheep stitch marker that I made on it, hanging out. And I ordered yarns from Webs. So I've got 2 different yarns here. I tried to get them in the same sort of like fiber content. So the teal here is Sugarbush Bold, 100% wool, extra fine superwash merino, 100-gram ball. This is the color Avalon Aqua, which is fitting because my cat's name is Avalon, so I thought that was entertaining. And then the white is Valley Yarns, Valley Superwash, extra fine superwash merino wool, in just the color white. So yeah, worsted. I'm excited. It's going well. I hope it fits properly. I like it. I really like the look of a twist. I don't love knitting a twisted rib, but I like the look of a twisted rib. So that's my work in progress. My works in progress. Not too many, but that's okay because listen, I'm about to have so many more. Because next I'm going to show you my knitting plans. I've got a lot of plans. All of the plans, you might say. So some of these have been being planned for a long time, as long as like 2 summers ago, because I got some of this yarn at Rhinebeck. I got some of this yarn and dyed it a couple summers ago, and then some of them are only a couple months old, so we'll get into it. Woo. All of the yarn. So I have some deciding to do. I've got a lot of sweaters, quantities worth of yarn, and I don't know what I want to do first. I'm struggling to decide. So let me tell you what I have yarn for, and then maybe that will help me work out what to decide. The first thing I have yarn for, I got at Rhinebeck in 2019, before the world shut down. Because I try to go to fiber festivals with like projects in mind to buy for, so that I'm not like just crazy, oh, I like this yarn, let me get a skein of that, a skein of that, a skein of that, a skein of that. So I like to, plan a little bit, and then I'll give myself a little leeway to like, just if I see something I really like, I will also like give myself a little leeway for that too. But mostly I like to go in with a plan. Classic Virgo. So the As If Tee by Shay Johnson. It's got mohair, like a see-through mohair section up here, and then worsted weight, strangely enough, for a tee. I thought that was kind of weird, but for the body. And so at Rhinebeck 2019, well, there was no Rhinebeck 2020, I bought a CC's Wool Yarn Baby. I don't remember what color it is. I think it's Cherry's Jubilee. It's very nice. Like a wonderful, lovely, dark cherry, delicious baked good. And I was literally carrying it around like a baby the whole time. It was awesome. So I have this for the body. I think it'll look pretty. I also have, I picked this mohair to go with it. And this is what is this? Dragonfly Fibers Fairy on their fairy base. It's 70% kid mohair, 30% mulberry silk. In the Carolina colorway. And I was just thinking about this because I was like, oh, that mohair's got to be way lighter than the Yarn Baby I got. So I don't know. Do you think this goes? I like the colors in here go really well with this. I'm gonna have to. I think I already swatched though. But why would I not have swatched with mohair? I don't know. I think they'll go. I'm just not 100% positive. Now I'm just trying to decide if I want to get just like a solid mohair to go with this in like maybe a burgundy or like a purple or a black to put with this, and then do something different with this so I can showcase this lovely, wonderful beauty of a mohair skein. So I might pose that question to my fiber gals and see what they say, because I'm having second thoughts now. It's like, oh, I gotta get a mohair at Rhinebeck, I gotta get a yarn at Rhinebeck, but now I'm like questioning my color choices, because I feel like both of these colors are so pretty that I want to showcase them, but I don't think together they will look very good. So I think I might go with a solid for this and find another project for this. Maybe like in a hat with like a solid color, like a solid something. I don't know. I love both the colors, but I am rethinking the fact that they'll go together. So that I'm thinking about doing that because it's a good summer knit, being a tee, and I got yarn for it like 3 years ago, so at this point it's like, okay, get going. But now, if I get new mohair for it, it's gonna be delayed, so that's probably not gonna end up being my next knit. Another sweaters quantity I have is for Wheat Sweater by Gift of Knitting Designs. It's just a simple, like, sort of tunic style, plain body, but the detail is on the sleeves. It's got this really nice cable pattern. And this I got yarn for, I think in December 2018, I took a road trip with one of my knitting friends to Webb's. They were having like their after Christmas sale. So we took a big road trip. We had like a bunch of people from one of our local spinning guilds that went. And so, And so again, I made a plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy yarn for this. I'm going to buy yarn for this. I'm going to buy yarn for this. So this is what I found for the wheat sweater. I have no idea what it is though right now because I don't have a ball band with me. This is just one of the balls. I have a whole bag full of them in the other room. I just don't remember what it is, so I'll get back to you with that. It's probably a superwash, maybe. I don't know. It's sport weight though, and that's what I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have sport weight. It's harder to find, so I'm gonna have to go to like an actual yarn shop to get sport weight yarn. So I got this. It's really squishy. I like the color. I don't really have a sweater in this. It's sort of like a, I want to say like a dark poppy or light cranberry. It's pretty though, and it's soft, and I'm excited to make the sweater. Probably won't be my next knit, though I feel like it should be because I've had this yarn sitting around for so long. That will be coming up though. The next sweater I have a sweater's quantity for is the Wanderer Pullover by Tiff Nealon. And this, I had a little bit of a heart attack moment because when I first wanted to knit this sweater and when I first got yarn and dyed yarn to make this sweater, the pattern called for a DK weight yarn. I went on to Ravelry and looked at the pattern to see just other people's projects, because I liked looking at projects and like sort of like how you would look at reviews on Amazon before you buy something. I sort of look at project pages before I knit something on Ravelry. So I had a heart attack because I started suddenly noticing that people were saying, oh, this, I had to fiddle with the pattern because I had the weight of yarn for the original pattern, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? So I went back to the pattern page, and lo and behold, apparently March of 2020 or 2021, anyway, like over a year ago, the entire pattern got revamped and changed into a worsted weight pattern. And I know I must have been notified, but I never read my Ravelry messages. So I wasn't aware. So that being said, I panic looked because I had already purchased the pattern. Thank God, because I still have the old version of the pattern in my Ravelry library, and I have not updated yet. So I like slam downloaded that DK weight pattern into my phone. So now I have it, and I can still knit it in the DK weight. I'm not sure why she revamped it to a different weight of yarn. I'm hoping that it still works with this weight of yarn because this is what I have, and I dyed it, and I really want this sweater in these colors. So let me show you the yarn. It is Knit Picks Hawthorne DK, and the yarn I bought was just the bare wool, but then I dyed it, and this is the colors I dyed it to. So I did like a dark tonal gray, and then I did all the speckles. I did speckles of blue, I did speckles of purple, I did speckles of pink. So I have a lot of this yarn, and I'm very excited to make this sweater. It looks so cozy. It's got a herringbone like neck cuff. It's got herringbone wrist cuffs. It's going to be nice, I think. Because again, I like the weight of Hawthorne, and I think it's going to be great. I love these colors. Oh, just grays with a little bit of pops of color. I'm all about it. So that is another option for upcoming makes that I am getting more and more excited about. So that is my sweater's quantity of that in my bag to try to keep out moths. all of my yarn is stored in giant plastic bags because moms. My yarn is precious and I don't want it to be a snack. Next, another sweaters quantity. And again, yarn I dyed using hawthorn as a base. Before I show you the yarn fully, let me show you the sweater I'm going to make with this yarn. I am so excited about this sweater. You have no idea. When I saw this, I literally instantly went and bought it. I was like, I need this sweater in my life. Need it. Being a nerdy D&D'er, knitter. Yes. The Critical Knit Sweater by Brittany Westmoreland. It's got dice color work. It's got dice color work. It's DK weight. I got some Knit Picks DK. Hawthorn DK. And then I dyed it. This is the color I dyed for the color work section. I wanted a neon sweater. I had been seeing a bunch of people I follow on Instagram making neon sweaters, or just incorporating neon colors into their knits, and I'm like, I have none of this and I want all of it. Why do I not have it yet? So I made some. This does glow under black light. I'm so excited. So this is the colorway, and I did 3 skeins. I'm not quite sure why. I'll probably have extra, and if I do, I'll probably make like a matching hat or something. I love it. I'm so excited. That's the color work. These buttes are going to be the body. I'm so excited. Because this is DK weight, I had to do this dyeing in a couple of different pans. So I have a bunch of skeins of this yarn, but the colorways are wildly different. But look at all this yarn. I'm so excited. Oh, it's definitely blowing out. Oh my gosh. But like, oh, the speckly goodness. I'm so excited. I put all the bright colors in here. Again, this glows under black light. That's one. See, this one has like a lot of purples and blues. And then like this one has more greens and oranges. So I'm definitely going to have to be alternating skeins when I knit this sweater. But oh boy, I am so excited. It's gonna be great. I cannot wait. This is a very high contender for what I might cast on next. Now I have your armful of yarn and no hands to put it back. But yes, so I dyed this on my porch last summer. It was great. I'm obsessed with dyeing yarn. I wish I could dye more of it, but I don't have a whole lot of funds for dyeing at the moment, so maybe I'll save up and buy some bare wool. So that's a big contender. I'm really excited for that sweater. I can't wait to knit it and then wear it to D&D games because I'm gonna die. It's gonna be great. I'll probably end up bringing it to knit while I play D&D and other RPGs, so I'm really excited about that one. A very high contender. I have some non-sweater knit plans, but then I have one more sweaters quantity, but I will sort of show that in my acquisition section because I just got the yarn in the mail yesterday. So I have some more plans than this, but this is the last one I'll talk about as far as knitting plans. So back in October, I did the Stephen Wetz mystery shawl knit along that he does every year in October. I ruined my hand. I messed up my hand so bad. My thumb joint right here just really gets messed up. when I knit too much and too hard. So I had to take a break during like the whole month of December, unfortunately. So I had some Christmas knitting that I needed to catch up on because I wasn't able to get it done before Christmas. I wanted to make my cousin and her boyfriend matching hats because they are the matching hat kind of couple. I think it would be adorable. So we got this new yarn in at work. It's the Lion brand Hue and Me. Oh God, Hue and Me. It was a collab they did with Two of Wands, and I got these two colors. So one is going to be mostly one color and a little bit of the other color, and the other one is going to be mostly the other color and a little bit of the third color, or the second color. This one is going to be my cousin, this one's going to be her boyfriend. Let me show you the pattern that I'm going to knit. This is 80% acrylic, 20% wool, but it's a bulky, so it will be easy to make hats in. Be quick project. So I'm going to be making the Pixels beanie by Susie Knits. And I think they'll be cute. That's don't have a lot to say about it because I haven't started it yet. Now I'm thinking I should just make them for next Christmas though, so that's probably going to be a little bit down the line. Though if I want a little bit of a break between sweaters, I might just whip up a hat or two. So that might be when, how, who, where, what I make those hats. Alright, that's it for temporarily for the knitting plans. I have some sewing plans, but I'll get to do those in like my other crafting section. So next I will go to the acquisitions. Yay! I got a Knit Picks order in the mail. And to continue on with the knitting plans, one of the ladies in my Fibery chat, and also this sweater it's been around for a while. I don't think this pattern is not new, but like a lot of people are making it right now, and I'm not quite sure why. It's the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. Looks like that. You can make it cropped, you can shorten it, whatever. It's got a lace yoke. It's got fingering weight held with mohair, which I love a fingering weight held with mohair. I've done a fingering weight held with mohair with this exact yarn combination before. Not the color, just the yarn content and yarn type. And it was lovely. It's great. I made a sorrel sweater. Great. Wonderful. Lovely. I love that sweater. It's so cozy and soft. I'm going to make Love Note because I kept seeing them around. Other knitting podcasters that I watch were making them. And I'm like, okay, this sweater keeps popping up. It seems to be very popular. I kind of like it. It's nice. I like the mohair fingering weight combination. So, and then, one of the ladies in my knit chat group ordered yarn to make one, started making one, and I got cast on FOMO. So I said, I want one. Should we do an impromptu little make-along? And then another girl in my knit chat was like, oh, I got yarn to make this. We should do an impromptu little, like, let's all make the same sweater thing. So I don't think all of us are doing it, but I think 3 of us are doing it. And the color that my friend is using is like this beautiful, like, jewel tone purple. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Jewel tone love notes. Can we all have like a set of jewel tone love notes? The other girl has like this beautiful deep turquoise yarn for her love note. So I'm like, okay, jewel tone love notes. I'll do it. I also don't have in my avoidance of trying to use the same color of yarn over and over again, I have somehow avoided making a completely blue sweater. I have sweaters that have blue in them and like blue-green sort of things going on, teal, turquoise, but I don't have any blue sweaters, which is funny because blue is my favorite color, so you'd think that I would have like 5 blue sweaters and nothing else. No, I have no blue sweaters because I was like, oh, I have everything blue. I should make some other color sweaters, but then somehow forgot to actually make a blue sweater. So I'm going to be making my love note again with Knit Picks Hawthorne pink green and Knit Picks Aloft. Here are my colors. I'm so excited. These are gonna be freaking gorgeous together. I die. I took a picture of these in the sun. Like, it was a sunny day yesterday. I took these out of the package outside and I was like, ugh. So I have this thing where sometimes when I love colors so much, I say I want to like stick them in my eyeballs. This color combo, I want to stick this color combo in my eyeballs so that it's all I can see, because this is like a brilliant royal blue, and this is just, it's gonna go so well together. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to start this. So again, this is another very close contender because I'm having FOMO watching my friend make it, and so now I want to make it. But at the same time, is it going to be too hot in the upcoming 93-degree weather this coming Saturday? Probably, but is that going to bother me that much? I don't know, because it's so pretty and I want to make it while she's making it so that we can make it long. So yes, this is going to be a love note. Again, Knit Picks Hawthorne. This is the colorway Irvington. And this is Knit Picks Aloft in the color Celestial. Beautiful, beauteous, I love it. So that was one little bit I got in a Knit Picks order. Excuse me. And then one last yarn for a project. I'm going to start LARPing, and I think what draws me to LARP so much is the idea of dressing up like a fantasy character. I'm like not super into like the fighting with boffer weapons aspect, but like, oh, let me dress up like a magical elf princess. Heck yeah, I'll do it. Or a Viking warrior girl. Heck yes, I'll do it. I will roleplay. I will pretend I am that character. I'm not going to be good at hitting you with a weapon, though. I'm not coordinated enough for that. But the costuming is what I'm like really excited about, because I sew, I knit, I can make my own stuff. So I was like, okay, what knit items could I incorporate into a potential LARP outfit? And I came up with a bunch of different awesome fantasy looking cowls on Ravelry, and like hooded cowls, and so a lot of things I could knit for LARP. But the thing that like drew me right away, yes, I'm making this. It is called the Moon Dragon Capelet by Lavish Craft, and it looks like this. It's got like a dragon scale pattern. That picture isn't the best picture, but I didn't screenshot any other pictures, so we'll have to deal with that later. So I ordered yarn for that too, because I want to start getting my garb together. And this is the yarn I ordered. You will see in my sewing section the color scheme I'm going for my first LARP character. I'm going to play a healer. I'm going to be doing like a blue-gray, blues and grays, and you know, that kind of color scheme. Probably because it's my favorite and it's easy just for me to like put things together. But this will be my Moon Dragon capelet to go with it. This is Knit Picks Chromo Worsted in the colorway Cousteau. Is that he was a marine biologist or something, right? Jacques Cousteau? Let's consult the oracle. Jacques Cousteau. He was an explorer, a French explorer, a naval explorer. Jacques-Yves Cousteau AC was a French naval officer, explorer, conservationist, filmmaker, scientist, photographer, author, and researcher who studied the sea and all forms of life in water. Therefore, ocean colors. Therefore, it'll fit into my LARP character perfectly. She's wearing blues. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Now that I have already knit with this yarn, I know what to expect. So I think it'll be good. So that's it for my acquisition section. I haven't got any more knitty stuff. So let's go on to my other crafting plans. So I've got a big pile of fabric right here next to me, sorted out in piles. And I have some patterns over there that I'll show you. I've got a bunch of stuff. So I've caught the sewing collection bug. Like, I have collected a bunch of things and I just haven't started any of them yet. So I have a bunch of quantities of fabric to make a bunch of stuff, but I haven't done any of this stuff yet. So let's start out with the LARP garb, since that sort of segs from the dragon capelet to this. So I have 2 bits of garb that I'm planning on making so far. I'm slowly sort of trying to work my way, plan my way through what I want to wear for LARP. And I was on Etsy, as you do, because, you know, patterns. And I found rabbit and hat. Rabbit and hat patterns, let's say, are not the cheapest, especially if you're doing, I feel like oftentimes, like, the PDF patterns are cheaper than the paper patterns or fabric patterns in this case. But in this case, the PDF patterns are only like $5 cheaper, so they're not exactly cheap, but like, the stuff she does is so cool, and it's fairly unique in that like, if you want to do that fairy, fantasy, LARP, Ren, garb sort of thing, she sort of has like a good niche in that corner of the pattern section of Etsy. So this is her split sleeve mid-length fantasy gown pattern. I bought it. I'm going to be making it for probably, it's short, so it's not going to be, I will be wearing pants with it is what I'm trying to say. But it's got basically like a loose chemise and then you tie it in the middle. I don't know if I'm going to add those strings there. I might just do like a corset top to cinch everything in, or a belt or something. And then it has the sleeves that are split like that. Bias binding around the edge. I think it'll be nice. The fabric that I got to make it is this. Again, with the blue. Blue all the time. Will it look nice on me? Hopefully. So it's just, this is, what is this? I think this is Kona, 100% cotton. It's got a fluff on it, gross. From Joann's. I probably bought it with a coupon, because I buy most of my fabric either with a sale or a coupon. So then on top of that, I am also going to get and make another of her patterns. This is the waist cincher belt. Has lacing in the front and the back, so it'll be really good for being sort of versatile. I could have it a little bit looser, have it a little bit tighter. And the fabric I went for that is, funnily enough, this is an outdoor fabric from Joann's, but it had a nice texture. I like the texture of it, so that's going to be the outside. I got some clearly not ironed, disgustingly wrinkly duck cloth for the center to give it a little bit of a body and structure. And then this, I think also another Kona cotton for the lining on the inside. I know I have grommets around someplace, and I think she calls for, in that pattern she calls for heavy duty zip ties as the boning. So this is going to be my first foray into boning anything. wish me luck. I've been watching so many videos of people making like corset tops and corsets and just like all the things, and it doesn't look hard, yet I am still like intimidated by it. I entered into the world of Instagram sewing people, and I've found some dresses that I need to make. So the first one I found is the Hannah wrap dress by Hand London. Um, the way I found this was I'm having a bishop sleeves moment. I love the look of bishop sleeves, and now I want to make myself some bishop sleeves. Anything with bishop sleeves, a top, a dress, whatever. I want bishop sleeves. I like them. I want them. So therefore I will make them. So the Hannah wrap dress has a few different sleeve options, which is exciting because I can make a couple different dresses out of one pattern, and that's great. So I'm going to make a bishop sleeve version. Let me show you a picture first. This is the Sew Addict on Instagram, but I thought it was a good example of the kind of bishop sleeve I'm going to do. So it's just simple. It's a wrap dress. It doesn't even have any facings, I don't think, on here, so it's not lined or anything. I think it's going to be easy. I just am intimidated to get started. I hate cutting out patterns, and I hate cutting out the fabric for the patterns. I like the sewing part of sewing the best, and so I think that is like what I sort of get stoppered on. But the fabric I bought for the bishop sleeve version of this Hannah wrap dress by Hand London is this rayon, or it's a linen rayon blend. I don't remember the percentages. I got it at Joann's. It is in the deep lichen colorway. It's got a really lovely drape. I think it's going to be very pretty for this dress, and I am very excited. That probably won't be done until further along in the summer because it's like a fall dress because it's got long sleeves. Then I've got plans for another version of that dress, which is the one with tulip sleeves, to wear to a wedding that I'm going to in less than a month, just about a month. So I need to get started. But me only having Joann's as a fabric store in my area that I know of, I'm just getting into this sewing thing. So I bought white linen, and I'm gonna dye it. I'm gonna custom dye it. So this is what the dress probably sort of will look like. I think she did hers in like a cotton, like a textured cotton. It looks like maybe like a Swiss dot cotton. I will be dyeing it. Let me show you what color I'll be dyeing it. Outer Orbit. It's a RIT dye recipe made with 1/2 cup hyacinth and 1/2 cup aquamarine. That will be the color of my dress. I'm very excited. It's just a like a light linen, so it'll be great for a summer wedding. It's in June. So I'm excited. But again, I have to dye it. I have to wash the fabric. I have to dye the fabric. I have to make the dress. I think giving myself a deadline will help me do all this. However, I haven't started any of that process yet, so we shall see. And last, oh no, I have two more to talk about. I got this pattern. It's a Simplicity 9180. It's like a cute dress with pockets. I figured that if I ever do branch out into cropped sweaters, when I knit a sweater that the pattern calls for it being cropped and I don't lengthen it, I want things to wear with cropped sweaters or cropped shirts or cropped anything. So I figured high-waisted, easy, simple skirt, big pockets. I'm excited. I bought this suiting to go with it, or to make it with. Hopefully it'll go well. Again, haven't started it yet. And then another internet discovery, another Instagram dress discovery. The Gracie dress by the Bold One. I have the pattern here, or the pattern instructions. But my printer was running out of color ink, so that's what it looks like, and it looks bad. So I will just show you this picture that I found on Instagram by What Liv Sews. It's bishop sleeves. So I'm going to make this dress with the bishop sleeves. The thing I like about this one is this waist. It's got bands, like the waistband starts over on the side seam and is bigger and gets smaller as it goes. So I think it'll just be like a good like cinching support thing right under your bust line, and so I think it'll be good. They also have like a full like walk you through the sewing tutorial video that I already watched. So it doesn't look hard. Like all these sewing projects, I know I have the skills to do, but just like something is keeping me back. I feel like once I get going, I will be able to do it, no problem. But it's just like the starting, getting over my fear of starting. I got again a linen. I think this might be a linen viscose blend. This color. I'm excited. I'm going to have all the dresses, all the skirts. It's going to be great. Those are my makes. What else do I have to talk about? Books I've read, media I've consumed. One of the things I watched when I was knitting everything was The Outer Range on Amazon Prime. It's like a Western sci-fi. Takes place on a ranch, is really trippy toward the end, but like also really good. David's husband from Schitt's Creek is in it, and he sings, which is really weird. Apparently he's a singer in real life, but this character also sings, and it's bizarre. I didn't love the singing, but the rest of the show was like, it's got Josh Brolin in it, it's got Imogen Poots in it, like, so people I've seen in other things, and it was like very mysterious. Like you don't know what's going on, and you still sort of don't know what's going on. The first season is fully out, and I liked it a lot, and I'm looking forward to the next season because I have so many questions still. So that's what I watched. I also watched Eurovision was on Saturday, and Peacock streams it now, which I'm so excited about because I had literally only been living a Eurovision life through random YouTube clips. So I was very excited last year when I discovered Peacock streams Eurovision now. So I watched last year and then I watched this year, and it's just it's goofy, but also extremely entertaining. It's like 3.5 hours long. I only watched the finals. But the way they score it and just, I enjoy it. And actually, I liked a lot more of the songs from the final this year than I did from the final last year. I only liked one of them really last year, but this one I like about like 5 or 6 of them that I added to my Spotify liked songs playlist, so that was entertaining. And as far as books go, I'm still reading Court of Silver Flames. I did finish What the Cat Dragged In. I rated it 3.5 stars, I think. It was cute. I ended up, I was listening to it on audiobook. I ended up having to return the audiobook, and then it was on hold for somebody else, so I couldn't get it. And I realized that I was only like a single chapter away from finishing the book, so I just read the rest of the book. The ebook was available, so I just read it. And weirdly, I feel like typically I like reading the book better than the audiobook, but in this case I liked the audiobook better than reading the book, and I don't know why, because normally either it's the same for me or I like reading it better, but this time I liked the audiobook version better, and it was cute. There were cats named after classic book characters. That was cute. It was like a best friend's brother as the love interest romance. Yeah, it didn't annoy me. It was cute. Takes place in Brooklyn. The girl works at a cat cafe. It was nice. And then I started listening to Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, which I have been literally waiting for so long I have had this book on hold for literally like 6 months, and I finally got it, so I'm excited I've been listening to that as I do my chores around the house and as I drive places, and it's good so far. I really liked House in the Cerulean Sea, but also call out to Needles at the Ready because until I watched their podcast 2 podcasts ago, I did not even realize that TJ Klune had written anything before he wrote House in the Cerulean Sea. Like a dummy, because authors usually do. Not all authors like make it big their first like book. But so now I know of a whole nother series that I kind of want to read that he wrote about shifters. The Needles at the Ready guys have both read them and they said they're really good, and so now I'm like tempted because I love a shifter, a fantasy romance. Yes, sounds good. I'm in. But yeah, that's about it for reading and watching. Can't really think. I've been also watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with my boyfriend. He finally talked me into it. It's more entertaining now that I know that it's about vampires and like weird underground pillar men than it was when I just saw him watching random episodes and I was like, what is happening? But now that I have like watched the story along, it's gotten better. And I think that's it. That is it for the episode, and I have to now decide what I'm going to knit next. So that should be fun. Alright, I will talk to you next episode, I guess. Bye!